All right. How's it going, everybody? Welcome to Virtual History 360. I'm Mr. Wade, and it is a little after 7 o'clock on a Monday, so that means I'm going live, right? So hopefully you guys are getting the notifications just about now, or if you're watching on replay, you're liking what you're about to hear, go ahead and hit that like button. Go ahead and hit subscribe if you're not already, which oddly enough, if you're already subscribed, you hopefully got the notification. But of course, if you've been following this channel for any time, you realize that YouTube doesn't like to notify all my subscribers right away, which on a normal video isn't that big of a deal, but on a live stream, kind of makes a difference. Because if you don't get the notification for an hour, 2 hours, 24 hours, kind of hard to see the live stream, right? But anyway, I digress. Hopefully you got my notification and you're watching this live. But again, if you're not and you're watching this on replay, go ahead and leave a comment. Tell me what you thought. Ask me questions. I'll still answer them on there for you. Okay? So, like I said, it's Monday. It's 7 o'clock and we are live. Now, the topic that we're going to be talking about is our continuing countdown of the Civil War 100. But to give people a couple minutes to get in, I do want to share a couple little stories. Yesterday was Father's Day, and my wife, son, and I went out. We went on a little adventure, and I actually brought my 360 camera with me on this adventure. You guys have seen my 360 camera before, right? Right here, I think. Oh, nope, must have left it out in the other room. But I do have this. You guys have seen one of these before? Camera stabilizer. So I took it to probably the craziest place you could take it. A giant staircase. And I shot a 360 video. I'm going to put it out on Thursday. So if you're watching this, Isaiah, what's up, buddy? Glad to see you here watching. Good to see you. Hope you're having a good summer. So yeah, if you're watching this, be on the lookout for a 360 video on Thursday because I was testing out whether or not the stabilizer worked with the 360 camera. So be on the lookout for that. I think you'll enjoy it. It's an interesting place, interesting story. It's up in Gainesville called the Devil's Mill Hopper. I call it Millhouse in the video, but we'll get by that. Okay. You're having a good summer. Good. Again, with this live stream, the reason I love doing these live streams is because it's interactive. So if you're watching on replay, watch the next live stream, then you can talk then, okay? But if you're watching it live, go ahead and drop a question. I will answer to the best of my ability as I'm talking, okay? So this isn't just about me. This is about community. This is about us talking to each other. And I feel this is a great way to do that. So we're a little over 2 minutes in. What do you say? Should we get started? All right. So, like I said, continuing our look at the Civil War Top 100 based on Michael Lee Lanning's book. Who is George Pickett? Oh, my goodness. I'm glad you saw the title and it got your attention. George Pickett. Oh, my goodness. We're going to talk a lot about him. He is number 93 on our list. And what does he have? Oh, probably fame more than anything else because of one afternoon on July 3rd, 1863, in a little town called Gettysburg, Pennsylvania. Perhaps you've heard of Pickett's Charge, which, as I've mentioned in other videos before, most historians now call it the Pickett-Pettigrew-Trimble attack because Pickett and these other two divisions all got formed together on their Longstreet. But I'm getting a little ahead of the story, okay? This is about George Pickett himself. Do I remember you? It's been, 2 weeks since I've seen you, Isaiah? Of course I remember you. Really? Remember? Get a drink of water in homeroom? See? I got you. George Pickett, born in Virginia, to a very influential family, old Virginia family. They trace their family lines back to 1635, okay? So they've been there for a while, right? See? I remember you. It's a good thing you'd mentioned on these, if I can go on a tangent. When you guys talk to me on here, it keeps you fresh in my memory because, as most teachers will tell you, it takes us a little bit to remember you when you come back, because that summer off, we forget a lot of things too. But by you guys chatting on here with me, that helps me remember you a little bit better. So when you come back and visit next year, I'll remember you a lot easier. Okay, so where was it? George Pickett, old Virginia family, right? Well, he was, let's just say, not the best student. He enrolled in West Point, and it was the class of 1846. There were 50 cadets in his class, and guess where he finished? Especially from our old students who are in high school, you know about class rank, right? He finished last. So not the best, but nevertheless, he still finished. All right. You said that last time and you disappeared, so I'm going to hold you to that. I want to see you comment again, okay? So George Pickett finished last in his class at West Point. But again, still finished, and he goes on to serve in the Mexican War, okay? And he fights all the way from Veracruz up to Mexico City. He got brevet promotions for gallantry in the field, and you know what? Things are looking pretty good. After the war, he stays in the Army. He actually gets stationed out in Texas for a while. All right, Wavy TV, you better be right back too. Don't pull an Isaiah on me, okay? OHS is better. Okay. Go Cowboys. Osceola County. I got you. All right. So he goes out to Texas. Things on the frontier. He's getting promoted. He's working his way up. He then gets sent to the Northwest, out to the San Juan Islands. Now, this is actually a pretty cool story. There's a dispute. Now, if you remember anything, leading up to, the mid 1800s, the Canada border, the U.S. border, it's kind of fuzzy. And, Britain and America or United States are arguing over where the line should be drawn, the Oregon country. James Polk, 5440 or fight. Remember? Think back to your Manifest Destiny notes. Well, guess what? This one island that's on the channel, the Puget Sound, that's kind of in between. The land wraps around, but it's disputed. They didn't know who owned it. Britain said they did. The United States said we did. And two armies were stationed on that island, one on one and one on the other. George Pickett was there. This is actually the site of the famous Pig War. You guys ever heard of the Pig War, 1859? Well, here's what happened. You got these two armies on one island, and they're firing off their guns. They're not shooting at each other, okay? It's important to remember that. They're not shooting at each other, okay? But a pig gets shot. Well, tensions are rising, but no fighting actually took place. But because there was one casualty, that one pig, they called it the Pig War of 1859. Eventually, it got settled that the United States was owned that territory, that island, and all's well that ends well. Pickett was there until 1861. But here's the thing. Fort Sumter happens. Pickett doesn't make it back to Virginia until 2 months after. Wavy TV. Now you're going to have to help me out. I do not remember Wavy TV. Now, if you give me a name, maybe I can remember it, but Wavy TV doesn't ring a bell. It looks like, what's your avatar? Is it Keys? Can't tell. You have to give me a little more than that. All right. While you're typing that, I'm going to continue our story. So he gets commissioned into the Confederate Army as a colonel, and he's serving near the Rappahannock River, which, Fredericksburg's on the Rappahannock. So it's a little foreshadowing there. So here's what happens. Oh, of course I remember you, Eris. Again, oh my goodness, guys. I know I told you I have a short memory, but goodness, it's been 2 weeks. Killing me. Oh, goodness gracious. How am I going to forget you guys? Come on. First class at Westside. You guys are going to hold a special place in his heart. All right? Remember that. All right. Where was I? So he's serving in the Confederate Army. He actually gets wounded at a battle and misses the Battle of Antietam. Curious what would have happened there. But he does make it back to fight at Fredericksburg, December of 62. And then gets stationed and moved around Virginia in the summer of 63, and then eventually joins up with Lee's army in Gettysburg. Now, the story of Gettysburg, which I'll go into greater detail because that's a much higher number on this list, or a much lower number, I guess. Now, Gettysburg, day 1, Lee attacks, the flanks, right? Day 2, or pushes them back. Day 2, attacks the one side. Day 3 says, let's attack the middle, okay? Probably, in Lee's head made sense because, we attacked the left on one day, we attacked the right on the other. We haven't attacked the middle. Maybe we'll break through there. You're going to hate Westside? You didn't fail my class. What happened? Yeah, you can tell me privately. Message me on Instagram or something. You don't have to say it on here. It doesn't have to be public. All right, so Lee says, Longstreet, take your corps and push up the middle. Well, 2 problems. 1, there weren't that many men. It's day 3. Okay. I was going to say, no, you didn't. Anyway. But here's the thing. George Meade had a lot of reinforcements that he can move towards the middle. Isaiah, he came back. Of course not. You're too smart to fail, Eris. See? Unlike last time. You redeemed yourself, Isaiah. Okay? Now, where was I? See, I like this. I like being interrupted with questions and comments. I want to talk to you guys. That's what I love about this. It stretches my 10-minute story into 20 minutes. But where was I? So Meade has reinforcements. Everyone's been moved to the middle just because they thought that was a safe place. And here comes Robert E. Lee pushing up the middle. And like I said, I will go into greater detail into this battle later. But just know that George Pickett was tasked with organizing with Trimble and Pettigrew and attacking. It didn't work. 3/4 of his men are lost. And if you ever watch the movie Gettysburg, the great scene, after the charge, Lee goes, "Where's your men?" He goes, "General, I have," or "Where's your division?" "General, I have no division," because it was so bad. And here's the kicker. It really wasn't mostly his men. It was the other divisions. And the fact that it was Longstreet commanding. Why do we have Pickett's charge? Well, it could be because he was vocal about it. He wrote letters to his wife before and after the day, and he wasn't very happy with Robert E. Lee and his, planning, and he was vocal about that. So his name was thrown out there, and because it failed, he was associated with it. That's probably something. I mean, after the battle, he kind of, worked his way around with the battles. But by the end of the war, Robert E. Lee was kind of done with them and sent him home. Just send your troops. You had 800 guys left. Send them to someone else. You go home. We don't need you anymore. Tell me there's no politics in the army, right? Well, he either ignored the order or didn't get it in time, and he was actually at Appomattox Courthouse when the Confederates surrendered to Grant. Now, he was offered other jobs. He was offered to be a general in Egypt. He was offered U.S. marshalship by U.S. Grant when he was president. Turned it all down. Instead, sold insurance until he died in 1875. He's buried in Richmond, and that's pretty much his story. Before I go any further, I know you guys are talking to each other, nice class reunion here. Mr. Clemens, good to see you on live. Now, I was going to say if you have any questions, but I'm assuming, Mr. Clemens, you can't have any questions. You're as much of a Civil War expert as I, right? But what do you got? Leave me questions. I have a few more talking points I want to bring up. I wanted to leave that out there. Questions, comments, what do you got? Drop them in there while I'm finishing up, okay? Got a few minutes left. I'm going to go live for probably another 5 minutes is what I'm thinking. Now, why do we remember George Pickett? I'm assuming, Isaiah, you watch Mr. Clemens live? He's your favorite? Really? Really? You're going to say that right in front of me, Isaiah? You're breaking my heart, man. You see this? Just like that. I'm kidding. Mr. Clemens is awesome. He's my favorite too. I'm joking with you, buddy. It's all good. Well, now I lost my train of thought because you threw me. You threw me for a loop on that one. Oh, where was I going? Oh. Okay. Hold on. Mr. Clemens, you threw me in a kerfluffle here. Oh, why do we remember Pickett? Obviously, a lot of the Confederates blamed him for the failure at Gettysburg, but whatnot. But why is he on this list? Oh, you're going to put me on the spot, aren't you? Pickett finished last in his class, as did what other famous general? I'm going to guess, but I don't think it's right. My guess is Grant. I know he was near the bottom, but I don't think he was last, was he? What's the answer, Mr. Clemens? Finished last in his class, as did what other famous general? Custer. Well, of course he finished last in his class. He wasn't smart enough to remember to bring a Gatling gun into a battle. I think that shows that he should be last in his class. Fair assessment, right? What do you think? I think Custer might be on my list. I might get to talk about him a little bit later. See, I like that, Mr. Clemens. I like that. Bringing a little trivia. Stump me. If you were here, I'd give you a Warrior dollar. Right, Isaiah? Eris? All right, so we established that he's finished last. He's not alone in finishing last and still being well known. But why do we know him? Why is he on this list? Well, it's because of the fame. He didn't do anything, extraordinary that other generals didn't do. He didn't really stand out. He was a decent commander. He got put in a bad situation, but he did a good job for the most part, just like a lot of other generals in the Civil War. But because his name is associated with Pickett's charge, the Pickett-Pettigrew-Trimble attack, because he's associated with that, that's why he's on this list. Of course, we're still at number 93. We got a long way to go to get to number 1. But yeah, think about it. His name's known. People know it, right? So what else you got? I've got a few more minutes. 4 more minutes until 7:20. I think that's when I was going to cut this off. So what do you got? You got to go? Mike, you're going to have to help me out with that. Don't blow your nose, George Pickett. Oh, my goodness. I had to say it out loud. This is why we're friends, Mike. All right, Eris, if you see this, if you're not back in time, Isaiah, good talking to you. Hope you have a good night. Mike, I'm glad you checked in. Oh, you made it a good night. What else you guys got? Any questions, comments, anything going on? Mike, hope you had a happy Father's Day. Enjoyed your time off. When we're going to go on that road trip. But yeah, so my plans, I'll share this out while I got the stage for a few minutes. I have a 360 video that's coming out on Thursday that's going to talk about the Devil's Mill Hopper. It's a sinkhole up near Gainesville. I think the 360 video turned out okay, so be on the lookout for that. Got a couple other videos. I'm trying to get Dexter to film another video, another kids review history books. Looks like we're going to do another one on Brad Meltzer's I Am series, this time Abraham Lincoln. I think that's appropriate, just because we did Washington, right? And then, let's see what else we can talk about. I have a couple of videos that I'm doing the research on. I'm putting a little more research into these just because I want to tell the complete story. It's kind of more of a series that's going to connect. I want to talk about the Ludlow Massacre. I don't know if you know about that, but I think that's kind of a story that can get a little bit bigger. It's a little over 100 years old, and it was during President Wilson's presidency. They lost a battle that led eventually to Lee's surrender. I mean, are you talking about Petersburg, or? I mean, everyone kind of lost that one. Grant's just really good at laying siege on a town. So that's something. I don't know. Because what battle was in between Petersburg and Appomattox? See, this is why I like to talk to history teachers. Anyway, while you're answering that, the Ludlow Massacre is during Wilson's presidency. I also want to talk about the 19th Amendment. I plan on going to Nashville this summer. I want to go to the Hermitage Hotel, which was the headquarters of both the suffragists and the anti-suffragists, in Tennessee, which was the 38th or the last state to ratify to get the 3/4. So I want to talk about that. I might have a surprise when it comes to that 360 video and 19th Amendment. But tying it all together with Wilson is Edith Wilson and her important role during Wilson's presidency, the first lady and what she did. So that's kind of my plans coming up. What do you guys got? I know, Mike, you talked about what you were doing this summer. Enjoy your retirement, man. Still a little jealous. I got about 20 years to go. So 20 years, you're going to come back and, go on a road trip with me. Was Five Forks after that? I had the time wrong in my head then. Okay. I was thinking that was before. But yeah, he did lose that battle. Wasn't that the battle where he was at cookout with other officers? Oh. See, now you got me stuck. New Bern, Petersburg. Yeah, Five Forks. Yeah, this is actually in the book. I had it mixed up. I apologize, but I do want to fill this in. What is it saying here? He said, at Five Forks the next day, Union troops overran Pickett's lines. Pickett missed the early part of the battle because of a shad bake with fellow officers in the rear. But he was unable to do anything about it. And you wonder why he lost favor with Lee. I think that might have had something to do with it too. All right, so I'm at the 20-minute mark, so I think it's about time to say goodbye. enjoyed spending time with everyone here on Monday, 7 o'clock. You guys have nothing better to do but talk to me? Well, great. I'm glad you're here. I love the conversation today. It was pretty active. I hope this is a trend that continues moving forward. Next week, I have a special surprise. Your teacher's favorite history, Miss Lisa Yan from Celebration High School. So if you're watching this, make sure you tune in next Monday at 7 o'clock for an interview with another history teacher, another high school teacher. Let's see. I have that 360 video come out Thursday, but make sure you have your notifications turned on. Hit that like button so YouTube knows to promote this. And then if you're watching this on replay and you're still watching, don't forget to subscribe if you didn't get the notifications. All right, so I'm going to say goodnight to everyone. And if you have any other questions, leave them in a comment below. Otherwise, enjoy the rest of your night. Be safe. I'll see you guys next time.